Hello, and welcome to Health Talk, Made Simple, with me, Aziz. Today, we're kicking off a brand new series that I believe is incredibly important. It's called Kidney Failure Made Simple. And for our very first episode, we're going to tackle a powerful emotion that often comes with this diagnosis: fear. We're going to explore why kidney failure causes so much fear and, more importantly, how understanding can help manage it. Over the past 25 years, working in healthcare, I've seen a consistent and powerful reaction. When a doctor says the words kidney failure, it's like a switch is flipped. A person's world, in that very moment, seems to just stop. Everything goes quiet, except for the racing thoughts in their head. The fear that follows is immediate and overwhelming. It's the vast, terrifying unknown that surrounds it. Instantly, their mind is flooded with a torrent of questions. Will I die? Is this a death sentence? What is dialysis, and will I need it forever? Will my life ever feel normal again? Can I still work? Can I still travel? Will I be a burden on my family? These questions are heavy, and they come all at once. I've watched so many patients and their families as they walk into a dialysis unit for the first time. They often look scared, quiet, and completely overwhelmed by the sights and sounds of the machines. But I want to be very clear about something. Their fear isn't a sign of weakness. It's a natural human response to being thrown into a complex medical world without a simple, clear guide. The simple truth is this: fear thrives in the absence of understanding. It grows in the dark, fed by uncertainty and misinformation. So, our goal here, together, is to turn on the lights. Let's break this down and make it simple. Imagine your body is a highly efficient factory, working around the clock. In this factory, your kidneys are the essential, expert cleaning department. They have a few critical jobs. Their main function is to filter your blood, acting like a sophisticated purification system. They meticulously remove waste products left over from your body's daily processes. They also balance the amount of water in your system, getting rid of any extra fluid you don't need. They regulate important minerals like salt and potassium. And finally, they filter out various toxins that might enter your bloodstream. They are constantly working to keep your internal environment clean and stable. Now, what happens in kidney failure is that this cleaning department starts to slow down. It's not that it shuts down overnight, but its efficiency decreases. When the kidneys can't clean the blood effectively, that waste, that extra water, and those toxins begin to build up. This is when the physical symptoms start to appear. You might feel a deep, persistent tiredness that sleep doesn't fix. That's fatigue. You might notice swelling in your legs, ankles, or even around your eyes, because your body is holding onto extra fluid. Some people experience shortness of breath for the same reason. Another common symptom is what we call brain fog, a feeling of confusion, or an inability to think clearly, caused by the buildup of toxins affecting your brain. These physical symptoms, combined with the diagnosis, create a perfect storm for fear. But here is the most important message I want you to hear today. Kidney failure is not some unknowable mystery. It is a medical condition that has identifiable causes. It progresses through predictable stages that doctors can measure and track. And most importantly, it has a variety of treatment options. Knowledge is the antidote to fear. From my many years working side by side with dialysis patients, I've learned something incredibly powerful. The single biggest factor in reducing stress and anxiety for both patients and their families is education. The more they understand about their condition, the more they learn about the treatment process, whether it's dialysis or something else, the less fear they have. When people know what to expect, the good days and the bad days, the procedures, the side effects, their expectations become grounded in reality. They're not filled with false hope, but they're also not paralyzed by worst-case scenarios. Their perspective becomes balanced. This is something I always emphasize with my colleagues and trainees. Don't wait for a patient to be so overwhelmed that they have to ask 100 questions. Be proactive. Offer education from day one. Start with one small, digestible piece of information at a time, tailored to what they're ready to hear and what they can understand. Because every single piece of knowledge you share chips away at the wall of fear. Education empowers patients to become active participants in their own care, and that feeling of control is profoundly calming. I'll never forget one patient, a man who was only 47 years old. He came to the unit one day looking defeated. He pulled us aside and said he wanted to stop his dialysis treatments. He told us, with a sense of finality, "If I'm going to die anyway, it's better to just get it over with now." His words were heavy with despair. He had lost all hope. I asked him if I could just sit with him for a few minutes. We sat, and I didn't start with a lecture. I just listened. Then, I began to calmly and simply explain his situation and his options. I showed him that his health was actually quite stable on the treatment. I told him that with consistent dialysis, and by taking good care of himself, it was entirely possible for him to live another 20, maybe even 30 more years, with a good quality of life. We talked about his family, his goals, and what was still possible for him. That conversation was a turning point. It was like a light came back on in his eyes. He decided to continue with his treatment. He started engaging more, asking questions, and taking ownership of his health. That day was a powerful reminder for me that a simple, honest conversation can do more than just inform. Education saves lives. Let me share another story. She explained that someone had told her she was hepatitis positive, and she was terrified. In her mind, this was another devastating diagnosis on top of everything else, and she thought her life was effectively over. I immediately went to get her lab results. I sat down with her and gently walked her through the report. I pointed to the specific marker and explained that yes, it was positive, but it was for immunity. It meant her body had successfully built up protection against the virus, likely from a past vaccination. It was actually a good thing. The moment she understood, the tears stopped. The fear vanished, replaced by a wave of relief. These experiences, and so many others like them, have solidified a core belief for me. Knowledge directly reduces fear. It's about believing you have the tools and support to face them. That is the entire reason I created this series. My mission is to break down complex medical topics into simple, understandable videos, one at a time. I want to help patients and their families feel less fear and more confidence as they navigate their health journey. Please know this: you are not alone in this journey. A diagnosis of kidney failure does not mean your life is over. It does mean life is going to change. There will be new routines and new challenges. But together, we can learn how to manage those changes. We can build understanding, and with that, we can build a new kind of normal life that is still full of meaning and purpose. Thank you so much for listening. In our next episode, we'll go back to basics and explore a fundamental question. What do kidneys really do? We'll explain it simply, so you can build a strong foundation of knowledge. If this video was helpful to you, please consider sharing it with someone else who might need to hear this message. Your support helps us reach more people who are looking for clarity and hope. Thanks again for watching.